God-level duplication system. Chapter 12. Green Jade shook. In the training room, Lin Xuan sat cross-legged on the futon. With a thought. On the high platform, the treasures copied from the senior members of the Lin family began to be used. Ding! Congratulations to the host for improving his cultivation talent. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Dacheng Huohu 3rd level top grade martial arts Lian Quan. Ding! Congratulations to the improvement of the host's power talent. The cool system notification sound kept ringing in my ears. Lin Xuan's aura was also slowly improving. But when Lin Xuan was practicing in seclusion, the entire Qingya city was shaken by Lin Xuan. After the Lin family's monthly strength check was over, the martial artists sent to watch by the major forces as well as the rest of the civilians and casual martial artists who came to watch the excitement all retreated as usual, back to their original place of residence. The wait-and-see warriors from the major forces immediately reported the scenes they saw and the big news they got during the Lin family's strength check when they returned. All the casual martial arts practitioners and civilians also used it as talking points, and they never got tired of publicizing it. Immediately, the entire Qingya city shook. In Qingya city, there are 4 major factions standing together, namely the City Lord's Mansion, the Lin family, the Wu family, and the Chen family. And the number 1 genius of each of the 4 major forces is known as the 4 geniuses of Qingya city. These 4 geniuses are not even equal in terms of talent and strength, and they are all at the peak of the 9th level of body training. Among the corresponding forces, they are all absolutely top existences and no one can shake their status. But the news that came today broke this situation. During the monthly school inspection of the Lin family, Lin Xuan, the young genius of the Lin family, has reached the 7th level of body training. First, he killed Lin Lei, who was also a young genius, with 1 punch. Immediately afterwards, Lin Hai, one of the 3 great geniuses of the Lin family who was defeated by leapfrogging, was the 8th level body refiner. And finally, he challenged Lin Yun, the first genius of the Lin family. Going beyond the 2 realms, defeated Lin Yun, and won the position of the first genius and chief disciple of the Lin family. When the news spread, everyone was shocked and unbelievable, including the top leaders of the major forces. You must know that Lin Yun, as one of the 4 geniuses in Qingya city, is not an ordinary 9th level body refiner. It's the very strong one, which can even compare to the weaker early stages of enlightenment. Except for the first genius of the other 3 major forces of the same rank, it is difficult to have rivals in the same rank. Not to mention, being challenged by someone stepping up. But at this moment, the news came that Lin Yun was challenged by 2 realms of Lin Xuanyu. Moreover, it was defeated. Such a result almost broke their cognition, making them unable to believe it. The same is true for the top leaders of the major forces. Even with the repeated assurances of their subordinates, they still dare not believe this situation. After being extremely shocked and standing there for a long time, he came back to his senses. The top leaders of the major forces all agreed to mobilize their subordinate forces as well as the dark men who sneaked into the Lin family and tried their best to find out the authenticity of this news. Qingya city is not big and the power in the hands of the major forces is not bad. Soon, they all got corresponding feedback. But looking at the news that was sent back, the high-ranking members of the forces couldn't help but widen their eyes again, stunned with incomparable shock. Because, without exception, the information from various channels, including Anzi hiding in the Lin family, all said that the shocking news before this is true. Lin Xuan indeed defeated Lin Yun, who was at the peak of body training with the 7th level of body training and the 2nd level. Became the first genius of the Lin family, the chief disciple. The high-level officials of all the forces looked at the information sent back from their hands, and their hearts were extremely shaken. What if they had doubts before and didn't dare to believe it? Well, now, with so much evidence in front of them, they no longer want to believe it, and they have to believe it. After the shock, the high-level leaders of all the forces all looked at the Lin family from a distance with mixed emotions and complex expressions. He was able to defeat Lin Yun, who was at the peak of body training, by using the 7 levels of body training and surpassing the 2 levels. It has already been shown that Lin Xuan's talent is stronger than Lin Yun's. Moreover, it is not a little bit, but a lot stronger. And Lin Yun, as the 4 geniuses of Qingya city, is tied with the first genius of the other 3 major forces. That is to say, Lin Yun's talent is comparable to the first talent of the other three major forces. In contrast, this Lin Xuan's talent seems to have surpassed the original four geniuses of Qingya City. Although Lin Xuan replaced Lin Yun, he was among the new four geniuses. But in fact, it has already left far behind the other three geniuses. Not only ranked first among the four geniuses, but also reached the number one genius in Qingya City, rather than the original confrontation between the four geniuses. Regarding this situation, the top leaders of the major forces were shocked, but at the same time they all sighed secretly. Lin Qishuan, the most powerful man in Qingya City, who even the owner of Qingya City fears 3 points, is in the Lin family. Now, the first genius of Qingya City also appeared in the Lin family. The meaning of this is self-evident. I'm afraid that Qingya City will not be peaceful in the future. The balance between the four major forces has begun to break. But the rest of the small forces, casual warriors, and civilians did not pay attention to these situations. But they were also shaken by the news. After all, the pattern of the four geniuses has been maintained for several years without any change. Today it was broken, or completely broken. Let them all shake a lot. Of course, even if they don't pay as much attention as the major forces, they are not fools and they will naturally doubt the authenticity of this news. The impact of this news is too great. It's just that they don't have the energy of the major forces, so they can only adopt their own tricks or wait for time to verify. And as time goes by, this news is fermenting more and more violently. But none of the major forces, including the City Lord's mansion, the Lin family and other four major forces, came out to refute or deny it. It seems to be the default. This attitude has already explained a situation. That is, that amazing news is true. Suddenly, Qingya City shook again. The heat of this news has already been pushed to the peak. Even in every corner of Qingya City, people can't help but discuss a few words when chatting or after dinner. At this moment, Lin Xuan's popularity in Qingya City has been raised to the limit. It can almost be said that, except for the patriarchs of the three major families and the Lord of Qingya City, no one can compare to Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan was also known as the number one genius in Qingya City, not one of the original four geniuses. Time flies and before you know it, a few days pass. In the training room, Lin Xuan unleashed a set of bullying fist, shocking wave palm, and broken cloud leg, and his clothes were wet with sweat. Click. At this time, a weak and crisp sound came out. A more powerful aura spread in all directions centered on Lin Xuan. Call. Lin Xuan breathed a sigh of relief, feeling the rolling energy in his body, with a smile on his eyes. Finally broke through the 9th level of body refining. 5 days have passed since the previous strength check. He finally reached the 9th level of body refining. In terms of cultivation, he is also worthy of being the chief disciple.